So I have these 3 different blueberry plants, and they've already been pollinated, so I don't have to worry about keeping pollinators away, but the berries are getting ripe, and I do need to worry about keeping the birds off of them. So the goal here is to cover these guys up with these bags and hopefully allow me to eat the berries instead of the birds. This is a set of netting. It's 4 pieces, or 47 by 40, and this guy is designed to keep insects, and it says rabbits, poultry, birds, and squirrels away from your fruit trees. And so it's listed as insect netting or bird netting. And I have some blueberry bushes I need to protect the blueberries on, so we're going to try that on that. So this was sent to me to review for free. If you wanted to purchase a set, it would cost you $20 for the 4-pack. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinions remain my own. So in the bag, we get 4 pieces of this kind of neon greeny yellow netting. And they have a drawstring at the bottom of it. So it's basically a giant bag, and it has a drawstring so you can make the bottom get smaller, and there's a zipper 3/4 of the way up one side, so you can unzip it to get access to fruit inside, for example. So I'm going to go put these out on my blueberry plants and see how they work. Alright, it took me about 5 minutes to bag 3 of these blueberry bushes. That one is a little small for the bag. That one is maybe a little small, but this one here is definitely right at the maximum size that I'd want to put this particular bag around. It mostly fit. It's, a little bit loose at the bottom there. I could maybe tighten it up a little bit. Some of that's just because there's multiple branches coming out. I definitely feel this is going to keep insects off. It looks like it might do a decent job on birds. We'll have to see how inventive the birds are. Pretty sure the squirrels can, climb in the bottom or chew through it if they really wanted to. I'm not sure if they'll want to. The only real complaint I have is that these strings, they have a knot, but then many of them also had a second knot that was kind of keeping it from tightening up all the way. I'd like a continuous thing of string with only one knot on the outside, not one that's kind of hidden on the inside. Other than that, relatively easy to put on. I'll have to check back in a week or 2 and see what the results are. Alright, there's a little fly crawling around inside the mesh net. Maybe it was stuck in there since yesterday, maybe it came in the bottom, but it did not magically get rid of the insects by throwing it over the bushes. The berries, however, are still here. Of course, the birds don't eat the berries until they ripen up a bit. Alright, day 1, nets are still up, berries are still safe, everything looks fine. It's been about a week, and I've seen plenty of birds out here, but all of the blueberries are still on the bushes. So I have to say these guys are doing a pretty good job protecting the blueberries from the birds. One of them might even be ripe here. Alright, a couple of my blueberries are ripe enough to pick, so they're looking good. The little zipper compartment here is enough to put your arm in and kind of reach to the other side, but it's not easy. So it's, pretty easy to pick blueberries from this side, but it's not very easy at all to get them from over there. So I'm not sure, the only way to improve that, I think, would be have the zipper go all the way kind of across the bottom as well. And I think at some point I'll have to take the whole thing off to pick them when they become ripe. But since I only have, 1 or 2 ripening up right now, the zipper works okay to pull a couple of those off. So this bush is a little smaller. I got 3 ripe blueberries off of it, and I was able to go in through the zipper and reach in and pick them all. Now 4 blueberries don't seem like a lot, but usually the birds will pick these off before they get this ripe. So having that netting there is definitely saving me from the ravens and the crows. Alright, so for the small bush, I was able to unzip it and kind of unroll it off the bush while keeping the base tied at the bottom. And as you can see, I have blueberries, and I've never had this many blueberries before because the birds would always eat them before I would get to them. So it is doing its job. It's keeping the birds off the blueberries. And so I have a little bit of debris from the plants trapped in there. Didn't shake it out good enough, I guess, in the corners. But other than that, this guy is, basically just as good as when I put it out. I see no reason I can't use this next season. Alright, the whole unzipping and folding it over worked pretty well on this guy too. I don't think it's going to work well on that guy. We'll see if it does or not. less of the blueberries are ripe on this guy. You know, there's a lot of blueberries that have not ripened yet, so I'm going to pick the ones that are ripe and then put it back on. Alright, on this bigger bush I definitely had to loosen the bottom and unzip the thing to get it off. So, you know, I couldn't just like get in through the zipper. I had to basically take it off. The guy is right at the upper limit. I wouldn't want to put this on anything bigger than that bush there. You know, it's difficult to get on and off. It's kind of compressing the branches in a little bit. You know, so I think that's kind of your example of the maximum size that you'd want. So this right here, which is a sandhill cranes, trying to pick berries off of my blueberry bush, is why I need those things covering them. Luckily, the uncovered bush I've already harvested the good berries from. So it looks like the bags are keeping them off of the other bushes. But it's also ravens, not just sandhill cranes, so I can't blame them for every berry that goes missing. Alright, so those bags are giving me a blueberry harvest when before I didn't have a blueberry harvest. Reasonably low price point for what you get. It looks to be reusable kind of from season to season. They seem to be holding up pretty well. You know, so there's a little bit of effort involved putting them on and taking it off, but it's not onerous. So I'm a fan in general.